時計の針は1時39分。今、40分を回ったところです。回は引き続きレイヤーが担当しております。ここからのお時間は、Burnout Paradise Remastered。カテゴリーは License Paradise Cars Only ということで、こちらのゲーム、解説の方はいらっしゃいませんので、またこちらも、お詳しい方もしいらっしゃいましたら、チャットの方もしくは飛び入りでボイスチャットの方ご参加いただきましてお話しいただければと思います。バーナウトパラダイスリマスタード2018年発売。各プラットフォームで出てますけれども、今回のカテゴリーは License Paradise Cars Only。A ライセンスか。A ライセンス Paradise Cars Only。Obtain the A ライセンス。50個のイベントで勝利する。Vehicle choice is limited to vehicles in the Paradise Cars category. This is the same as the without DLC subcategory on the original game's leaderboards. 使える車の種類が限られてるわけですよね、多分。Paradise Cars Only っていう風に言ってると。Unrestricted っていうカテゴリーと、分けられている。こっちの方は完全に強い機体マシンを使って進んでいくんでしょうが、今回は限定的なマシンの範囲内でクリアをしていくということでしょうか。走者が2人登録されていまして、今回は、これはレースで走られるのかな？詳細には書かれてませんけれども、画面が来たらわかるでしょうか。先ほどのキングダムカムデリバランスが、30分ほど巻きましたのでね、スタートのお時間が、でもどうだろうな。この後も、イベントの押し巻きはあるでしょうから、巻いてるうちに巻いていくかなとは思うんですけれども。 Coming Up Next の画面、配信画面の方で、nimputs vs Trigger っていう風に書いてますんで、やっぱりレースですね、これね。nimputs さんが、ライセンス走られた、スピードラン .com 上の記録がありまして、トリガーさんは別のカテゴリーにはいらっしゃいますけれども、A ライセンスはスピードラン .com 上には記録がないようですね。でも、トリガーさんは、メインゲーム、パラダイスカーズオンリーで2位の記録、エリートライセンスアンリストリクティッドで1位の記録。このゲームをちゃんとプレイされてる方なのは間違いないですね。ここまでの大幅な巻き方をすると一つ難しいのが、あちらさんまだ朝方だから、ちょっと準備がね、間に合ってない可能性がないとは言えないですよね。奏者さんが、30分巻いたの待て待てみたいな状況になっている可能性は、なきにしもあらず。起きてはいてもね、まだ会場まで降りてきてないとかっていう可能性はありますから。まだすやすやだとしたらちょっと余裕をかましすぎかな。余裕かましすぎっていうか、普通に間に合ってないかな。来ましたね。無事進んでいきそうです。だってカビゴンが寝ろって。ねえ。仮に皆さんもポケモンスリーブ使って睡眠時間確保していこうな。
Glorious, the provider of amazing computer peripherals, type exclamation mark Glorious in chat to find more. Red Wolf Networks, Ninja or Die, a new cool ultra-fast roguelike releasing on August 2nd. Wishlist now on Steam and type exclamation mark Ninja in chat for more. And now it's time for nimputs and Trigger to show us Burnout Paradise Remastered. Take it away.
Hi everyone, we're here to show you Burnout Paradise. I'm nimputs, I am here racing Trigger. And with us commentating is...
I'm Dooty Doots, hello everyone, how's it going?
Alright, so before we get into the run, just a really quick explanation of the category. It says Paradise cars only, that basically means we only use cars in this top category here that I've selected currently. All this other stuff was originally added as DLC, which kind of
Vehicle Select で Paradise Cars っていうのが一番上にありますね。一番ベーシックな
be both donating one
マシンなの
dollar
かな
for every crash. We have a counter
一番
here
上
on
に
the
あるっ
phone.
ていうことは。
So
だそう
yeah,
いう
so-
I have just noticed that
プレーンなマシンでどれだけスタートできるかということでしょうか。
Well,
さあ皆さんぜひ楽しんでいきましょう。お二人の走りにグッドラックです。
at least you let us now and not like
yeah,
an hour in.
10 minutes in.
タイマースタートオンイグニッションって書いてあったんで、点火というかエンジンが入った瞬間っていう感じなのかな、
yeah,
扱いとしては。
Okay. Thank you. All right. I think we're ready to go.
Yep.
Dudes, you wanna do the honors and count us in?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do I do? The button?
さあ画面が
Don't-
切り
don't
替わ
rush
り
it
ま
right
し
now.
て、
I know, not yet. No, I got. What we've used.
Okay.
Right. Go from 5. Right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go! Good luck!
So, Burnout Paradise for those who haven't ever seen it before.
さあスタートしていきまし
Racing
た。
game, to start
バーナウトパラダイスは
the objective
あれですね、路面上でいろんなミッションをクリアしながら進んでいくレーシングゲームということで、
To progress through the licenses, you have to do a certain amount of events that and
早速倒していきました。もう一個テイクダウンが必要ですかね、右側。
We'll explain each one as we get to them. The first one to start off with
はい、テイクダウン。
Road Rage, as you can see on the top left of the screen. You have to
こういうゲームですね。
amount of cars within the time limit. And there you go. Look at
You win!
They got knocked
勝ち
completely
ました
off course on that one.
Yeah, the start of the run tends to be very messy, very RNG dependent, depending on.
ロードレイジ、規定台数相手をテイクダウンしてクリアする。
Just looked over at the screen. That's not what you
さあ左側は次のミッション早速始まっています。今度は3つテイクダウンを取る必要があるようです。右側は
I'm sure
どうするでしょう
every
か。
time you do a road
同
rage,
じミッションをクリアしていくわけではないのかな。あ、同じですかね。
requirements get higher and higher, so you start off at 2.
ニンプツさん、さすがに乗り慣れている感じがあるでしょうか。
There you go, there's a nice quick
どうすればテイクダウンが取れるかがだいぶについてる感がありますね。
and it looks like Trigger's not too far behind by the looks of it.
Got a very lucky takedown there.
We like.
カーアクションゲーム。そうですね。レーシングっていうよりは、
every single event unlocked. There's an event on every junction
より
in the city.
ラフプレイ、
Um,
モリモリと
yeah,
いう
so
か
it's。basically for the early game, especially, you just pick the quickest events that are available, which in this case is just doing 3 road rages back to back. And then
イベントの開始地点は信号機がある場所になっているため、自由に動けるイベントについては終了地点がタイム短縮には重要。ほほほほほ。
gets higher.
You may have just noticed there that nimputs use the restart button. So it's the way that when you do an event is you can't just do it over and over and over again to complete your licenses. You have to do a different one until you get a new license, and then the races reset. So after you complete one license, you can restart and do the same event, but because it's on a new license, the events have been cleared, and you can do it again to count towards your new license that you just got.
That was like the best third road rage of my life
So far.
so far. So yeah, these events like road rages right now, and also stunt runs, which we get to later, they are non-linear, which means they have a start point like any event at a junction, but then you can take them anywhere you want. So we're just using like these road rages basically to get to the start of the next event on each one. So I'm here now, like
右側3個テイクダウンでいいのに4台テイクダウンしてましたね。
event I was planning to go to, so I'm just finishing the travel now pretty much.
The Nakamura SR7 is now cruising around Paradise City.
You may notice that as they progress through the licenses or just the game in general, that you will get a pop-up telling you that more cars are available. Although it's not as simple as just going to
あ、左側のミッションはレースのようですね。
from the junkyard. You have to take it down, which does take a while.
6台とのレー
You
ス。
have to find the car in the open world, which can take any amount of time really. You then have to go pick it up again, which is another cutscene, and the time gained
状況は良さそうですが、
isn't
さすがにレースだったら相手倒すより自分がゴールした方が早いでしょうからね。
And if you
こんなフラフラした車でレースしないでほしいというか、これを運転しないでほしいって言いたいんですけどね。
the cars that you get just from completing the license are more than plenty to actually get through the game without any trouble. Usually, anyway.
But I'm just confused at what the AI is doing on my game.
Having a good time while we're looking
Yeah.
at things.
So I just had the first race, so basically straightforward point A to point B a race, as you can imagine. Still, I want to emphasize this game is permanently open world, so even events that have a clear start and finish point, they have no barriers that set you into a specific route in between. So you can take any route you want. In case of that first racer, which just like down one road, so there's not really much you can do anyways, but later on we'll be taking like a couple of shortcuts diagonally through the city pretty much. And here we have the first stunt run, which again the point requirement is super low right now, so all I have to do is take like these 2 jumps straight down the road, and now I'll drop my car into the river, and that's my first crash also. I have to unlock my phone to use the counter. Oh, there we go. And yeah, we are 7 times the required point requirement already on the first stunt, so yeah, that's quite a joke. This is early on, but they later, as you get further into the game, they become like the most, probably like the biggest run killer to do consistently. Yeah, and now we have our final new event type that we're gonna see during this run. This is a marked man, which is kind of like a race, so from point A to point B, but instead of having to get to the goal before the AI, you have like where are they? There they are. The threatening
舞台設定としてはアメリカなんですかね。
cars here around me. They try to kill me, and I have to
いや、
basically
パラダイスシティか。
without
どうなんだろう。
dying.
パラダイスシティ自
That's
体は
basically the idea.
アメリカなんだろうか。
Often easier said than done.
特定の国ではないのかな。
That's also like very kind of luck dependent, because like sometimes they are very docile and just kind of stay away from you. Like they seem to be doing the majority of this event so far, but like sometimes they also just like completely just wipe the floor with you and you can't really do anything. Yeah, this was I barely seen a single one during this entire thing. All right.
I believe sometimes also referred to as sharks, which
Yeah.
has always been
Yeah.
kind of confusing to me because last I checked, sharks don't have wheels or are made of carbon fiber. But what do I know? I guess I haven't been out in the ocean enough.
I generally don't know where even the name came from. I don't think that's the official name the game gave them. But
No.
we just call them like that for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't think the game gives any name for them, do they?
Yeah,
It's
that-
just
ドライバーの聖地。
I
なる
think
ほど
in。the game they are like a Bolt Hunter civilian. So that's a car.
両ドア開き始めましたね。めっちゃ回ってるけど。
You can also unlock that car later on, but it doesn't. That's not relevant.
ドリフトを使ったミセプをポイント稼ぎの
Again, taking a stunt run again now with 10,000
ミッションでしょうか。
Slightly harder, but still I only have to do 1 jump ideally, unless the jump goes horribly wrong. Oh, looks good. There it is. 12,000, easy.
今のジャンプで
yeah, this, doing stunt runs is
規定の
great
ポイント
if
クリアですかね。
check up on your maths and you're not sure how good you.
で、
I've
コンボを切らせれば、
stunt run, sometimes I will lose.
それでミッションがそこまでで終了すると。
And I have a lower amount than I thought I had. So
コンボを切らさないと、そこまでの加算が 決定しないってことか。
This is a good game to speedrun because it forces you to do a lot of on-the-spot multiplying.
and they say games aren't educational.
右側もクラッシュしまし
They
た。
should let preschoolers speedrun this game.
We could always do with more people on the leaderboard, so yeah.
Yeah.
If there's any aspiring preschoolers out there who want a speed run, this is for you.
スタントラン。看板を壊したりスタントを決めて目標スコアを超えればクリア。自由に動けるタイプのため、イベントの開始地点でうまく終えたいということで、あれですね、左側の 画面はそのままレースにシームレスに入っていきましたね。
So yeah, especially during
右側も
the
今
game, like
少し動いただけで次のミッションに入ったと
Dudes
いうことな
mentioned
んです
earlier,
ね。
but you have these licenses that progress in difficulty and demands. So the early licenses have a very low amount of races or events that you need to complete for them. So for the early licenses, it's very easy to just pick the fastest couple events and complete them. And then on the next license, you can do that series of events again. So you have like basically like a pattern of a couple of particular events during the beginning of the run that you see like 2 or 3 times. So this is basically one of them, like
まあ、とはいえ、おそらくはプレイングとしてね、
plain sailing
やっぱりちょっとの差が
run that I'm about to do called unconventional. This is just one of the typical
一つ
patterns
ミッ
of
ショ
the
ン
but the further we get into
技
the
を決
game,
めミスったりしたら
new
すぐひっ
events
くり
that
返るぐらいの
take
差ではある
different
と
routes
思
we
う
have
の
to
で、
introduce. So
30
yeah.
秒ぐらい
You may notice as well that during the races,
ね、
they
それぐ
may
らいですよね。
sometimes, if they're going around a certain corner, they may try and spin their car or try and make the car go in a certain way during the, let's call it a cutscene at the end. That's because you're trying to.
今度のスコアは18000が基準になっていますが、移動しながら、ここで
That's like actually like a really
着地
important
プラス
aspect about optimizing the
看
game,
板
like
破り。
how you finish each
これで
event.
コンボが
Anytime you
十
finish
分ですね、
an
足り
event,
ま
you
した
wanna。keep in mind what the next event is and where it's
35000
located
なので、
relative to you.
目標地点まで行って、
For
クラッシ
example,
ュ。
you cross the finish line, but the event is behind you and you cross the finish line at full speed. You're just gonna during the race result cutscene, you're just
多分
gonna
ド
go
ア
all
閉め
the
てって
way
言っても
through
閉めらんないんでしょう
and
ね。
just have to drive all the way back. So a lot of times you see us like do a U-turn over the finish line or like take a right turn on a junction over a finish line to just get to the next event quicker. And sometimes you can like actually significantly cut down travel time like this between events.
The crash that Inputs did a minute ago and Trigger is actually currently in the process of watching. It may sound like I'm making it up, but it's actually intentional. I'm not just covering for them as much as it might sound like I am. But if you just crash into something, it ends your combo and just ends the event quicker rather than just sitting there and waiting, because if you accidentally start like a drift or you boost a little bit, you then have to wait for the countdown to go through again, which may take a while. An example of the junkyard cutscenes are here, because for some reason the game, I don't know, someone must have spent a lot of time on the cutscene where the car falls from the sky and they want you to see it every single
そう
time.
クラッシュする時のカメラアングルがワンパターンじゃないのが面白いですね。
The description as it goes past before you can actually select the car
うん
again.
うん、30秒ですね、今ね、
So
差
you
が。
can see just from getting this car there, that's quite a lot of time.
逆に言えば結構ワンミスが命取りのレースになるかもしれないですね、この。
Even if you like the way it looks,
so.
it may not be fast enough to pick it up.
レースやマーケッドマンの
Most likely isn't.
ゴール地点はシティ外周の数箇所に定められている。シティ西側の山あいの箇所が目的地になっているイベントだと、タイム的に辛いのでそういったイベントは極力避けているはず。なるほど、なるほど。
There was like a respawn timer, wasn't there? A bit of a timer.
Yeah, we call it lockout time. It's kind of like a weird thing that the game does for reasons we can't really figure out. So like at the beginning of a license, the first event you actually drive to,
まあこういった
it takes like 15-20 seconds for you to let you enter the event. But
イベント
only
クリア型であれば
like
ね、
if you enter
他のイベント
like
が
while you're already on an event, you can
集中
immediately
しているエリア
start.
で
But as soon as you
極
go
力
off
済ま
that
せたい
event
ですよ
and
ね。
drive to your next one, yeah, you have like this like 15-20 second lockout timer ticking down, and it's really weird. I don't know why it happens, but it minorly affects our routing at the beginning of new licenses, because sometimes like we go kind of slow on purpose to build up.
これは車が変わったのかな？
Anyways,
さっき出てきたイクサ GT ってのに新しくなったんですかね。
A thing to mention here is you might have seen Nimputs doing it, I imagine.
早速扉開いてますけどね。
Snaking, which is kind of, like a snake down the road, funnily enough, that's why it's called that. You may be wondering why that is. It doesn't actually add, like, it doesn't give you extra top speed necessarily. It just keeps your boost bar up, because the car that they're driving, so there's 3 different stunt types in the game. There's a speed type car, which if you played any classic Burnout games, is, well, you get the boost by going fast, and then once it runs out, if you're going quick enough, it starts up again and you can chain it. There's stunt type, which is the green one they're using now, and as you can see, whenever you do stunts, it puts the boost back up. For me personally, when I'm playing this casually, I tend to use these ones just because you're spinning around and stuff, it gives you extra speed. There's also aggression.
すごいスピンしましたね、今。
From the name, you tend to get being
そして川にダイブ。
aggressive, which is great for marked man or
通常イベント進捗により街中にドライバーが出現し、それをフリーローム中にテイクダウンするとアンロックできる。ただ、一部車両はライセンス更新によって自動的にジャンクヤードに追加される。ほうほうほ
There's
う
no penalty for having too many points. Luckily. Otherwise that would make the speed run rather annoying.
今回のパラダイスカーズオンリーっていうのは、そのパラダイスカーズっていうカテゴリーに入ってる車であれば変えることができるっていうことかな。
Let's see how friendly they're going to be this time. I have a feeling they're probably not going to be as friendly. Oh, no, there he is immediately.
Slight notch. Yeah, if there's anything you want to read, Poker, maybe, then now would be a good time, I guess.
Of course I do. I have an insane $250 donation from a user by the name of Demo is better than both of you.
DLC の車たちなんだ。
One more dollar for each minute the winner is off my world record. Thank you.
こういうカテゴリーになってるから、もともとある車ばっかりなのかと思ったら、逆に DLC オンリーってことなんだ。
20% incentive to upgrade to difficult mode, which is now at $410 out of 2,000. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Demo. Yeah, Demo is the current
DLC で
this category.
ない車たちね。あ、そういうことです
He
ね。
has a different route. Demo is like particularly good at like chaining together stunt runs very efficiently in a way that is much riskier than what we do. Our route is like more based on consistency and going.
これはまあ DLC の方がいい車追加するわな。
You know, like getting like all the stunts chained together. Because as I said, stunt runs do have variable routes, so you can use them very efficiently for routing. And yeah, if you check out Demo's run, he does quite a different route than us.
さあ、右と左が少しミッション違うものに挑んでいそうですね。左はスタントランがまた続いています。4万稼いだのでクラッシュが。
Yeah, I hope you have some saved that demo.
右側は今レースが進んでいってクリアしたところでした。あ、ちょっと遅れているだけですかね。順序が違うだけだったのか。
Oh, sure. Yeah, so we're donating $1 for every crash that we have throughout the run. We've both got a little counter on our table that we're keeping track of everything. That's intentional or unintentional.
Although if you ask him, every crash is intentional.
Sure, we'll go with that.
バイク版もできるんだ。なるほどね。
Mine aren't.
For the record, yeah, every crash is intentional. You may notice as they're driving that there's indicators. This is just a way.
さっきゲームのスタートの段階でパラダイスカーズっていう風な感じで選択してましたね。だから何かしら区別はできるんでしょうね。
It's kind of a game mechanic, but it's not really anything that's too crazy. It's certainly nothing we use during the speed run anyway.
Yeah, it's basically like a built-in navigation system that kind of automatically happens for like new players that you can, you know, either just follow or you can just ignore like you just do.
そういうことですよね。
That was horrible.
いくつかカテゴリーごとに DLC で販売されてるのかな。
Look at the top of the screen when you see the road signs, you see them flashing up when the game wants you to take a corner, or you can look just like.
左側タイマン勝負してますね。
on the back of the car. You can follow
ミッションの順番が違うのか？
pretty safely to the goal, but not
いや
the fastest.
同じミッションに戻ったか
You
今。
actually gotta, you know the map pretty well.
Yeah, because the best thing you want to be staring at as you go 200 miles an hour is some funny yellow blinking lights, of course. So that is one of the kind of like I'd say unique race events in that it's a 1v1 race that can be quite annoying sometimes because they tend to be kind of difficult, I guess, to speed run, or if you crash a few times, it can be quite annoying to catch up in those ones.
Yeah, there's like it's kind of like a hidden extra event type. They're on the map. They're just labeled as races, but there's like a couple races that are just like 1v1 races.
ミッションがそれだけの数ね、十分量あるんであれば、どういう順番でクリアするとかっていうのが、
And they tend to be
まあ
on
人
like
それぞれ
very short tracks.
考えが違えば、
The AI tends to be quite strong on these.
その分変わってきそうですね。
Like any crash that might happen during it, like is a significant risk to losing the event. So you have to be really careful on these.
DLC バラバラで販売して、コンプリートエディションが出て、リマスター版が出た。ははは。
Gonna be the last road rage we will be doing in the run.
Yeah, so as you can see, sometimes it can take a little bit of time just to get a takedown, but that was pretty quick, to be honest.
Yeah, I got good spawns. Like sometimes you get really unlucky and you just like get like completely ghost town around you and you just have to wait. But this went pretty well.
Especially after a crash, because obviously you're not going as quick as you were before, it can be kind of a pain to catch up to the AI or wait for the AI to catch up to you again. I'm not sure what AI cars in the background of your one is just trying to get in the shot about. Yeah, so sometimes when you respawn an event, you might have just seen that for some reason him there was in the air.
テイクダウンの演出派手ですね。
Nothing we can control or something we want to happen. It's just sometimes the game decides to do that. I don't think we actually know why. It just, I don't know. Oof.
It can drop you from some serious height sometimes.
Yeah, I've definitely seen it before.
あら、右はちょっと
One time when it drops you
ミスがありましたね。あ、左がミスがありましたね。もう一回やり直すのかな。
maybe the game thought, you know what, they put a lot of time and
こ
effort
ちら現在、
and you're barely seeing it, so I'm going to slow you down. But you're not
Burnout Paradise Remastered というゲームやっております。
So this
車の
here
聖地で
probably one of the best places.
カーアクションをしながらいろんなミッションをクリアして、
As you can see, he's
ライセンスの取得を目指すという感じですかね。
multiplier. Stunt runs, especially later on, tend to take place in some of the same locations. That bridge tends to come up a lot, and so does the beach. Just
ス
because
タントランやロードレイジのような移動も兼ねられるイベントを使って、うまくロスなくクリア数を稼ぐ必要があります。
having to go that far.
Yeah, that's like actually one of like
ベストコンボ
things that have
10万いきまし
in
た。
the route over time because it used to be a lot like you had stunt runs around like specific locations, so either the beach around where you start the run or the bridge that I just went over, and then every time you did the stunt run you just went to either one of these two locations and then just found points there. But in recent years, especially also a lot again from demos routing,
マップ結構広いですよね。
got a lot more, you know, pointed towards a specific goal location.
今回はあれか、クラッシュせずに目的地まで行って、止まって、
There's not too much of that right now. I used the last one a little bit there to get to this event. But yeah, later in the
ア
game,
ル
there's
タードロードスター。
stunt runs that, you know, actually like go a specific route, like across the city, more like a race event that we try to follow. Yeah.
May notice as well, sometimes in stunt runs, even when we have the points required, and I said earlier they tend to crash to stop it, but if you've got a full boost bar and you're already going pretty quick, then you may as well just use the speed that you already have to drive to the event rather than potentially, if it's not useful, crashing, which obviously loads your speed, funnily enough, and you might not have any boost. So rather than stopping, then driving to the event, because you need to stop at the event anyway, you may as well use the stop
まあ、
at the event, so then you're already there at the
ド
event.
ライバーたちがこぞって集まって自分の腕を競い合ってるっていう感じの街でしょうからね。
Yeah, I did that like on the previous stunt run. I did basically just instead of crashing the car because I had like a little bit of distance to drive. Yeah, basically just let the combo timer run out during that time, and then I can skip the
まあ、ドアは多分開けてるわけではなく閉まらないから開いちゃってるの方が正しいんだと思い
you
ま
know,
す、今
even
の
if
状
you
況。
don't use the boost during that time,
車
you can
を
pass the
頻
network.
繁にクラッシュさせてり、今ね、やってますけどもね。
It's tap-
する
tap
シ
out
ー
as
ン
well,
もあ
like
る
you
の
said
で、
before.
Find the stunts and rack up the multiplier to
I
beat the
don't have
target
boost,
score.
that's not good.
Yeah, so as you can see, if you crashed on a stunt
左側が2回
because
スタントラン
so
で
you have to go back
稼
and
ぎ
get
方を
it
ちょっとミスっ
to
てし
be
ま
able
っ
to
たの
reach
で、
to actually pick up anything.
今
Some of the respawns with
右
these
側
guys
の
can be absolutely disastrous.
走者さん追い
Like
つい
you're
たと
right
こ
at
ろ
the
で
start
す
of
か
the
ね。
ramp, but you've got no hope.
だいぶ
So
詰まったん
so
じゃない
you'll
か
have
な。
to go back anyway. An example kind of being there.
まだ追いついてないか。でもまあ、さっき30秒あったのが多分20秒とか15秒とかそれぐらいになってるでしょ。
When you crash like mid stunt run and you lose your multiplier, that can be like a massive time loss to like a straight up run killer very easily.
Yeah, especially if you try and go along a certain route in a stunt run, as you've seen now, you went over the 2 jumps for the billboards, and then on the beach, if you crash after the billboards, you've already lost quite a bit of potential for your multipliers. So you'd either have to find somewhere else to get them or go back and do them again, which, yeah, isn't the most efficient way of speedrunning, I must say.
あ、もう10秒ですね。
Here's an example of crashing on purpose there. Is right where the race is, so you didn't have to go anywhere. And well, as you can see, the race has started again.
こういったところで2人でプレイしてるとやっぱり
So looking at the race
ね、
between the two of them, not in game, it seems to be pretty decently close.
ワンミスが命取りになりかねないですね。
It's quite easy to pull out a lead. It can be potentially, but also because this game.
逆に言えば多分右側の走者さん
What happens during a crash?
タイマースタートして最初の方にちょっとしたミスがあったのか、もしくはルートがもともと違って最初からクリアしてるミッションがもう違うのかもしれないですね。だとしたら見た目以上にもしかしたら差がついているのかもしれない。
Yeah.
そうですね。なんだかどうしても西には行きたくないという感じがありますが、街が広い分やっぱり西の方行けば行くほど帰ってきづらいっていうことなのかな。
Handbrake over the finish line. This time, however, I'm doing a different event, which is like the next junction going forward. So I just went full speed over, and ideally that should put me in.
LM クラシック。
Yeah, perfect.
このマシンの名前って実在するやつなんですかね。
Yeah, we did like a practice race the other day, which after nearly 1.5 hours ended up 22 seconds apart. So decent potential here for close races, but this game tends to get more volatile the longer it goes. So we'll see.
ロードスターは実在。おお。
In the later licenses, where you've got
Yeah.
quite a light, drifty car that goes pretty quick, it can be quite easy to get messed up going around the corner or something.
ああ、メーカー名の一部をスタッフから解釈して、ほほ
Be a short example of
Eh.
sneaking. It's a small thing, but it can easily add up.
なるほど
Especially
なるほ
these,
ど。
um,
まあね、
stunt type boost cars.
こんな
Potentially not a lot of
マシンぐしゃぐしゃにすること前提のゲーム、
But having
な
just
かなかブランド名使っていいよって許諾は出さないっすよね。
basically all the time.
どうなんだろうって思ったんです
Yeah,
よね。
also like there's a
That's
lot of
all.
ramps around everywhere, but like anytime you're not on the ground, you're not accelerating, so you generally.
マシンもぐしゃぐしゃにする法律もあったもんじゃない世界観ですし。
Like, you can just snake a lot.
Especially as sometimes this game likes to make you crash. You might think you've landed perfectly fine, but you'll land and then there's a fence there you might not have seen and you're
Yeah,
crashed.
usually the fences break when you drive into them, but sometimes you break because the game is funny like that.
The game, as I said to people before, this game in some aspects is quite well, like, decently explained. We know how things work, and then other things just don't make any sense. Signal not making any sense. There's another crash there. Oh, okay, that's a drive away apparently. That's a pretty resilient car. I will give it that. It's a tough old bird, that car, it seems.
お、今、
So yeah,
左の走者さん、ちょっとしたミスがあって、抜きましたね、右側。
different licenses are basically like chapters throughout the game. We've picked we're doing for this race doing a
あ、シン
license,
クロで
which
す。
is the
からが面白そう
base
だ。
license you get in the game. Everyone obviously gets well, each of them obviously get progressively longer, and the A license run is about lengthwise half of a Burnout license run, and Burnout license is
1ミスで
10% equivalent
本
of
当
the
にひっ
game.
くり返りますね。
So yeah, A license is just basically it's still like basically gives you most of what this game has going on as a speed game, but it's like, you know, it's a bit more compact of a run because like Burnout license you have to account for like 2.5 hours. So the A license is just a bit nicer for a marathon showing. It's just
左側はコンボオーバーを選びましたが、右側は
You get quite long, like the one you had at the start was 2 events, and I
ストップ
believe
し
the
て
last one is something like
タイマーを
120 because I want you to do every event
変えました。
you do.
yeah.
Which, as you can imagine,
やっぱりクラッシュの方が早いんですね。
do the elite license. That's what
待ち時間が発生するんだ。
I'm aware of the pain.
Yeah, Trigger's done elite license, so that's quite a long run.
multiple times, I believe, as well.
Yeah, I much prefer it on Remastered because they lowered the takedown requirements for the road rages, which cut the time down by like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, on the original game, the you know, as the road rages get longer and longer, the target caps out at 40.
スタントランの移動がやっぱりチャートを組むベースになってそうですよね。
A single road rage.
ここでこういう移動をすれば次のミッションをすぐに得られて無駄がない感じで。
That also kind of leads us into just, you know, I guess we can like talk here about. Thank you.
Oh,
おお、
Talk about
右側
different, like the different
危うく壁に激突でしたが
two main versions of the game. So there's Burnout
耐え
Paradise
て
original, or Burnout
左
Paradise
側を
um,
はレックってなってましたからやり直しでしょうか
the
ね。
just Burnout Paradise with no subtitle, I think was only
これは一気に差がついたんじゃないですか。
When they released it on PC, it was already Ultimate Box, which has some stuff
あ、
added.
そうでもなかった。
And then later, down the line,
まだまだわからない。
more DLC for it. And then there's Remastered, which came out 10 years later, which has everything included by default. And yeah, so the differences are like, as we've just mentioned, the road rage requirement, so that wait,
You've already beaten this marked man of
I missed an event somewhere. What did I not do?
when you get your next
me too.
license, you can try it again for
I'm in trouble. What?
well, if you both missed an event, I guess it's not too bad rather than just one of them missing.
Yeah, I mean we're even, but I don't know what happened.
Now I'm going to do coast to coast.
A good
Yeah, that's a good call.
thing
I
here
don't-
to mention, yeah, is the differences between the game. When you open up the free drive menu, which is on the right D-pad, in the original game, you have the option of cancel and restart the event. I believe in the original one, pressing cancel just
マップの雰囲気が若干違って見えるのはこれは何でしょうね。ゲーム内の時間設定とかなのかな。
which, as you can see, is quite useful, but I'm not really sure why they changed
日
it.
の入り方が違
So
う。
like about the routing mishap that apparently just happened, we have a route printed out right here that we're reading off of. We usually use
マークトバンとロードレイジは車両ごとに許容クラッシュ回数が決まっていて、それを超えるとイベント失敗になります。ほうほうほうほう。
progresses what event we're on, and apparently a sheet of paper doesn't automatically progress. And I don't know
Funny that.
what just went wrong there, and it's very peculiar that we both had the same mistake. I have no clue what happened. I have to watch this run back because I'm dumbfounded, but I don't know. I guess that's just what happens when you use paper instead of live split.
Should have used magic paper.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a good call from you, Trigger, to do coast to coast as backup because it basically has the same route that the event that was gonna do anyways. So
Yeah, we use coast to coast in A license, so just swap that later for Mayday and restart
Yeah.
this one.
yeah, what an awkward turn of events. This.
Would we have a second for a quick message to you? I would just like to remind everyone that you have some amazing incentives to choose from when donating to Alzheimer Fonden, and right now we are.
Wait, we're still one behind. We missed 2?
What?
Oh, that's even better. Right now, we are working on getting the elevator skip showcase for new Super Mario Bros. U, and that is currently
quick to do
at
from here?
$495
You're doing Lighthouse Rock.
out of the 1500 we need to see that, and this
Oh, yeah.
one is coming up next. So get your donations in for that, and we
左側が発生させたクエスト、右側が発生できてない。なんかあったかな。
What happened?
I don't know. We must have like both skipped like the
発生条件が変だったのかしら。
two events, like somewhere on the list.
I know what it is. We did Club Sandwich and went straight to Hang 10 instead of doing Curveball Rat Race.
Oh yeah, right. That makes. Oh yeah. Thank you. That is so weird, man. Yeah.
あ
I guess you get to see more road rage now, so that's fun. I'm glad it happened to both of us, because that would have been so awkward if I had to do this alone. Okay, so now we can actually go to A license. That's what happens when you get up at 5 a.m.
ほん
to.
とこういうワンプレイごとに
Just the magic of Burnout. You never know what you're gonna get when you load the game up.
ツイ
Alright, now we
Going
get
short
this
of
car,
that.
the fastback, which is Boost mentioned the different boost types earlier. This is a speed type speed type boost car. A lot of words that chain awkwardly together. So the speed type boost is basically made to be constantly boosting. We are already trying to constantly boost, but this boost type helps us massively in doing that, because anytime you use up a full boost bar in one go, it gives you like a bonus for boost for the next bar by that already fills up the bar by like 2/3. So if you do like anything minor, like doing a little bit of oncoming traffic or like some minor jump or
さあ右側は5台テイクダウン、左側は
the downside to that is that this boost is not accessible at any time, so you can only start the boost with this car.
マシンを変えましたね。
So you might see us like in this situation, just like try to build up boost and then boost, basically.
Yeah, as you see, they stop boosting for a moment, and then he has to build it back up again before he can use it again. I want to mention we haven't actually seen it yet, but sometimes it is like a
あんなテイクダウンの仕方したら巻き込まれると思うんだけどな。
spinniness that the game gives you from doing the donuts for the speed run can stay on your car, as Trigger is very well.
Yeah.
Knows
おっと
that
テイクダウンでき
quite
ない
well.
できた。
So yeah, rather than just going in a straight line, it kind of like swerves all over.
ゲーム内には主に3種類のブーストがあって、緑色はジャンプなどのスタントで増えやすいスタントブースト。
Gives you the like whatever the game uses to make
今
you
緑
see that much
左側の緑の
in the,
マシンが赤いブー
in
ス
the
トしてましたね。
cutscene type thing.
I don't know, it's never happened to me. That seems to be a trigger problem. I don't know.
一方右側の戦 GT は緑色の
See,
Boost.
you're cheating, and that's what you
黄
get.
色はフルチャージしないと起動できない代わりに高速で危険走行すると使い切った時にチャージされ連続使用ができるスピードブースト。左側のブーストは黄色なのかな？
Same event that I was doing before, so I've done extra road rage.
And you can see already with the stunt runs, the target score is 75,000, and we're about half an hour in. And at the start, it was what, 5,000?
Yeah, the first one's 5k.
And thanks, Trigger, that you mentioned that, because that reminds me, I also didn't restart any event as I was supposed to do at the beginning of the license. I have to go back at the end and to. This is such a
右側も
back at the end.
同じ機体に変
That
更しま
car
した。
went for you.
Quick rerouting on the fly.
Yeah.
That's another one for the tap counter.
I have to go back at the end and add in an extra event. I already know
違
what
う
I
な。
want to do. That's
When did I take
新しいのが
the
追加されたようか。左側、右側の。
It's not a mess. As he said, it's live rerouting.
ファーストバックにこれから
All
変更ですね。
intentional, everyone. I assure you.
本当だ。ドアがいよいよなくなってる。
Worried you're gonna crash there, then have I just covered up for you, made it seem like it's all intentional, and you're about to crash.
Nah, I would never make a mistake. Don't worry about it. Never happened before.
Let's say if that traffic car crashing into you, I never knew the citizens of Paradise City were quite so charitable. They must know the incentive you've got going on.
あとはおそらく本 RTA だと出てこないであろう。一般車両とか敵車両をぶっ飛ばすと溜まりやすく、テイクダウンすると最大値が増加するアグレッションブースト赤い。
There's the cars
No.
are magic and or haunted or
Remote control
driving. And whenever
Hey, Big Mary.
yeah, that's his favorite.
マシンを変えて黄色のものに変えたっていうことは、
But yeah, anytime you see like the door of the car fly off or something, you can look into. You can't see it right now, but there's no driver in any of the cars, so there's no.
黄色の方がトップスピードが高いっていうことですかね。
Unless maybe us, but
Yeah,
that's,
unless
that's
you
fine.
count these two.
I signed up for this, so it's good.
Here's the old carbon fiber land sharks again. Oh, okay. You seem to have gone through the barrier. Wow, these cars are tough. Unless, of course, you look at them sometimes in a funny way, and then they'll just explode. Right. Good idea. Go through the auto repair. So
Yeah.
the marked man events, I don't know if you've quite explained it, but you might be thinking, well, why does it matter if you crash? You can just go on forever. But not so quick for devs ahead of you there. Yeah, but same as in road rage events as well, I believe. Depending on the stat of your car, you will have a certain amount of like hits that you can take before it's game
うんうんうん。やっぱそういうことですよね。
Just one of the three stats where it was a speed boost.
何かしらメリットがなきゃ買えないわけですもんね。
The speed stat basically doesn't matter because it doesn't apply when you're boosting and you're always boosting. So the only thing that matters is boosting strength. Yes, strength basically determines just how many hits you can take in a markman or road rage and still survive to the end.
So you could kind of make a good guess on what strength value a car will have just by looking at it. Like if you look at this muscle car, for example, I think it's got a pretty decent.
All right.
Yeah, it's got a pretty decent strength value. Whereas if you were to drive the car we saw a minute ago, the old 1930s gangster-looking car. Actually, I don't know. That's kind of a bad example.
I think that that is a bad example. I think that car is really strong. It's like
Yeah.
supposed to be like a kind of mafia movie gangster car thing. That's what it's referring to, I believe. So I think that one actually has a really strong strength stat.
If you were to take, I guess, when one of the cars you might get at the start of the game, like the two-door sports cars you might have seen, they tend to not be quite as strong, shockingly, because they're about 30 centimeters long. So another genuinely intentional crash there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I might have to go back through the VOD again and recount my crashes just to be sure. But I think I got everything so far.
I like the placement of the stop sign that's right next to your crash car. That was poetry in motion, I think I've ever seen. Yeah, you might notice. I just looked over a trigger screen, and it appears as though one of the sharks had crashed into something itself. The AI likes doing that. Its main objective in these events is to try and take you down, but sometimes they just like going in a different way or just crashing into things. Like I think there's one of the is this the race or one of the races in this
Yeah.
area, I believe. You start off and quite often you'll see just an AI car crash into something.
Just like immediately
そう
smack
タイムとしては30
right next
分、
sometimes
あ、43分ということで、残り30分ほどかなと思いますけれども、
The ghosts can't see so well.
B ライセンスというのが、イベント24回勝利ということなので、もう B ライセンスにはなってるのかな。
It's just funny to make up examples, I guess, like ported cars or more control cars.
whatever you can imagine about this game is true.
That's right, yeah.
All your Burnout Paradise fan fictions are canon.
So, as you see on the screen, the burning route has come up for, what is it, the Hunter Manhattan, I believe it's called. So, each car in this game has an upgraded variant, which tends to just give it better stats. And you might think, well, why don't you do those events? Well, they tend to put you somewhere out in the middle of nowhere if they want to. And they can take quite a while to do. Because then you have to get the car and pick it up from the garage and watch the stupidly long cutscene of the car falling from the sky, etc.
あれ右側足りてるポイント。
from the junkyard every time you get a new one isn't
あ、足りてた、
necessarily
足り
the
てた
best idea.
本来スタントランはブーストでコンボを維持するモードなので、フルチャージしていなくても使えるスタントブースト車両が向いているのですが、シティに長く居すぎた者たちによってなるほどなるほど。
There's some that are slightly faster, but some that are also slower. It's like a lot of times just mostly like a visual upgrade,
Yeah.
like a completion kind of thing. It's about 50-50 if you actually get an upgrade or not. So something important to note about the routing of this game is you obviously want to pick events that are quick, but because this game has no quick travel, so you have to actually drive everywhere. What is equally as important as the event, as the length of the actual event, is like where it's located in the map. And this is a pretty good example because I'm about to do an event that is super short, but is in quite of an awkward place. So it's a bit tricky to route into the map, into the run efficiently. So the optimal way to do it, which is also what Demos route does, is use a stunt.
車がなぜジェット噴射をしているのと言われても、いやまあね、車はジェット噴射するものですしね。
So yeah, this is Strikeout. This is like one of the shortest events. It's also one of the most dangerous one. This one's kind of notorious for like managing to completely smack you over the head within like 10 seconds of you starting it. As we'll see, I actually got the early turnaround here. There's always some little bit of variation how far you drive during the intro cutscene. So if you have like a marked man, where with a rolling start, where you have to take like an early turn or something. Sometimes you can make it, sometimes not, and you just have to react to where the start cutscene puts you. I believe.
左のやってるこれはミッションは
But apparently, if that is so, the frame rate
レー
varies
ス
because I've
ま
had
たちょっと
runs
違
where
うのかな
I do an event multiple times, and like the one time it works and the next time it doesn't. So I'm not really sure what's going on.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it describes quite a lot of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can you say? Play Burnout, it's not the same thing every time. They'll put you where you want to go, sometimes they put you not where you want to go, which can be quite annoying, especially on the respawns after events, because if you're trying to go like upwards, the game might go, you know what, now you're going to go left. So you either have to keep going left and find a way to go back to where you're going, or just do a quick
マーク
turn.
トマン。あ、これがマークトマンか。
I would like to say during these speedruns, there's not really much downtime when you're actually doing them. I mean, okay, yeah, you get the small cutscenes, but there's not necessarily like a loading screen and going into a different level usually. I think the longest downtime you might get is the junkyard, but that's not exactly enough time to have a proper break. So
そこら辺にガンガンぶつかる車でニトラ積んでたら、マジのバーンアウトしちゃいますけど
I
ね。
hope you're well prepared and wearing your comfy slippers because you do not get any time really at all to go for a break.
Yeah, the downtime you get is like just barely enough to take a drink of water, which is good, stay hydrated, but it is like not really enough to do anything else.
Stay hydrated, folks, whether we're playing Burnout or not.
Oh,
Look at that lovely bit of health messaging while I'm here.
oh man, I muscle memoried along the normal route. I was gonna do the cool route for this. I'm sad now. That was like a cool route, like on a ramp up onto the highway that I forgot to do.
You can make up for those sick ramps in the middle of the jump.
No, those actually slow you down. I'm trying to go fast.
Ah, we need style points more than edible.
And I've already went over those ramps. It's nothing new anymore. It's cool highway route or nothing.
I heard something about health messaging there, and I would say this is a good time to remind our viewers that we are raising money for Alzheimer Fund, which is the national Swedish fundraising organization focusing on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. Yearly, Alzheimer's Found's Science Council and Board of Directors grant scientists, researchers, and projects around $3 million. With your help, even more projects can be founded. We have raised over $25,000 this event. All of your money goes directly to Alzheimer Fund. You can support by donating, cheering, subscribing to the ESA channel, or buying t-shirts at speedrun.store. All of the money from these go into Alzheimer Fund. Thank you very much for all of your donations so far, and keep them coming.
That's a kind of a close one. Good that one up. Yeah, so as you can see there, he's just gone along the bridge. Nearly has a 10-time multiplier already. You may be thinking, well, why did they do the same jump over and over again? The game will actually punish you if you do, I think it's more than, I want to say twice, it might even be once if you do the same super jump. The game goes, nope, too stale. It generally says it's stale, and they have to find something else. Which I guess is good.
You can't reuse the same ramp over and over. I think you still get base points for like airtime and such, but you can't get a multiplier again on the same ramp. And multiplayer is what we mainly care for. So
yeah, the multiplier is the main chunk, as it were. There you go. Immediately stunt run straight into a race there. That's the stringing of events, I guess I don't know what you'd call it, but putting the events together. Yeah.
That was again a situation where I let my combo run out rather than crashing. I'm not trying to save money, it's just, it's actually faster.
Yeah, any excuse though. You might have seen at the start of a race where one AI immediately went to take out another one. The AI, sometimes, as you might see on the map, every now and again the little red triangles will disappear. I mean, okay, admittedly the mini-map doesn't show you much, but unlike other games, like the old Need for Speed games, there's not really too much in the way of rubber banding, I'd like to say, but I could be wrong.
I don't actually know from the top of my head. I don't usually look at the AI very much, if I'm being honest.
Well, if there is, you don't need to worry about it too much, because you're never really close anyway.
Yeah, ideally.
Ideally, yeah.
Stunts and rack up the multiplier to beat the target score.
I would like to mention kind of a thing that people I've spotted when they show the licenses, every time you upgrade it, they get less and less crumpled, which I find kind of funny, because when you start off, it looks like it's just been in someone's back pocket for years, but when you get the best one at the end of the game, it's all nice and shiny, it's probably been laminated, freshly printed, but at the start, no one really cares apparently.
Yeah, they just give you like a crumpled up one they had lying around at the beginning.
Probably not even plastic, it's probably just a bit of paper they took out and scribbled on it.
Used as a coaster for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, you might have seen that he slowed down a little bit there over the jump. As you can see, the walls aren't too far away from the jump. It can be quite easy just to go over the run, think you're fine, and then just go really quickly into the wall, and bam, there you go. Multiplier's gone.
Yeah, those ramps are particularly notorious because they do have like this little bump in front of them that can very easily set your car up to just like, when it lands, just like bonk to the side, and then you just smack into the containers, and then you lose a lot of time. So we always tend to like slow down a lot.
今のスタントラン、左側、
They kill a lot of runs otherwise. They're quite annoying.
Especially
なんて
barrel
言えばいいの
rolls, you'll
これ。
notice that he's just on a barrel roll there, but they more often than not
横
try
回
and stay
転。
away from doing them.
横回転っていうとね、
No matter how you
上から
do it,
見た時の
it's gonna be okay.
ライ
But
ン、
the barrel roll,
Z
sometimes
軸
you
を
go
軸
quite
にして
quickly,
ました
the
けど、
game will
今、
just,
なんか
I don't know,
進
it's
行
just
方向を軸にして回りましたよ
just
ね。
kind of go nip, and then you land upside down, you
なんか
crash.
スクリューみたいな動きしましたけ
You
ど。
can steer in the opposite
そ
direction.
うはならんやろ。
Cancel it out after the first one, but sometimes the game will do like 1.5 rolls and then stop you.
Yeah. game works in mysterious ways.
It does.
バレルロールはかける2なのでハイスコア狙いで必須。マジか。
Sometimes the game itself is another member of the AI trying to take you down. As you can see, sometimes from wherever traffic spawns, or as you've seen a few times already, will just turn into you. Although I guess you are driving rather recklessly, so I guess you can't complain too much about it. But you know, don't have to be so rude about it, do you?
So yeah, if anyone's interested in picking this game up as a speed game, you might be intimidated by like, you know, learning like all the routes and such. It is actually pretty simple to get into, especially when you consider that every individual license we have as its own category. So you can start out with like the really short licenses, like D license is like under 2 minutes, C license is like 10 minutes and such. So these are very easy to learn for the routes. And hold up, which isn't that on? Okay.
Yeah.
We have on speedrun.com we have route maps, basically maps of the city and just with numbered junctions. So you can just follow those along. We don't use them anymore. We just follow by the event names because we've done this a lot, so we know which event is where. So we don't need the maps anymore. So when we do runs at home, we just follow live split from the event splits.
これこれ。
As a new runner,
バレルロールって言うんだ
you
こ
have
れ
a。second monitor especially, that is particularly comfortable to just put up the map on the second monitor and just follow that along. So a pretty comfy game to get into, especially if this is a game you like to play casually anyways a lot, so then it's pretty simple to get into.
Yeah, I picked it up and I didn't necessarily need to learn too much. I just had enough, just any really casual experience, even just play the game a little bit, because quite a lot of the game there's not really like much tech or there's no like big skips or anything that you have to try and do. It's basically just play the game quickly. And if you've got a
カ
second
ッ
monitor,
トベ
or
マ
a
グナ
second
ムというのは、
you know, be it phone,
これはあれですか。
laptop, your grandma's iPad, maybe if
ジェネレーションギャップが発生するやつですか。
all you gotta do is
僕
open
は
up
わ
the,
からないんですが。
the root images and just follow what they say. As he said, they're all numbered. So, ooh, that was a double whammy.
I have not had a crash in a while, so I had to unlock my phone again. So that's fine.
That's an interesting way of bragging.
But yeah, back when I got into running this game, it was initially just like kind of like on a whim, like, oh, I'm just gonna learn like one of the super short categories as a meme. I like never had any intention of like actually like doing the full game, but you know, as I did the short categories, I eventually like got bored of like the relatively slow early game, and I sort of got into the rhythm of running this game, and I just you know, step by step added more and more to it, and just like after a few weeks of like occasionally playing this game, I was like doing the full game run basically. So yeah, it's a pretty beginner friendly speedrun, I would say.
So you like the longer ones, but I don't think I've ever seen you do an elite license one yet.
No,
Yet.
Yet.
no, I don't have the patience for that.
オンラインマルチプレイヤーで与えられた課題をクリアするっていうモードがあって、各自バレルロールの丸回転しろ。楽しいな、それ。
So yeah, this game has a lot of extra content. So the full game, what is the
そう、
current
おそら
estimate
く
for what time could that be?
ミニ四駆というか、爆走兄弟レッツエンドゴーのネタなんだろうなって思ったんですけど、
Tell you what,
兄
now,
の
it's in
世
a game
代
that
かな。
doesn't give you any loading screens or any breaks. And has anyone actually ever done one of them, or was it?
僕はその下の世代ですかね。おそらく
Murray,
ね。
not me.
Yeah, yeah, that's incredible. I don't think I could do that. I think I'd fall asleep.
同時にバレルロールしろ。他全員をバレルロールで飛び越える楽しそうだ
Yeah,
な。
there's a lot of different things you can do. I believe there's categories for like all billboards and stuff as well, isn't there?
Yeah, that's
all
like
stunt jumps. so-
collectibles categories.
Yeah, so if you, for some reason, don't want to do the racing and just like driving around the map, there's categories as well. You'll see the red billboards, but we use that are placed in various shortcuts or during the stunt runs. There's a category for all of them. You don't really see them during the gameplay because we spend more time in races, but there is stunt jumps as well, which is I guess you could just say the more like interesting jumps that the game has dotted around the map, but indicated by the blue flashing like pylon markers.
500個もチャレンジあるんですか。やば。
There's all smashes as well, like those yellow gates that you see. They tend to be used around the map. But there you go. Perfect timing there. That's actually incredible. To show you where shortcuts are, there's a category for getting all of them. I'm sure there's other categories as well. Just have a look, see what takes your fancy.
I do want to point out those smashes I went through should be broken by now, but I forgot to do this event earlier, so yeah.
Slacking.
Yeah.
Or even just playing this game casually, I'd recommend it. It's just got really good handling for me personally. You can't hear it now, but the soundtrack is great, even if you do get sick of Guns N' Roses every time you load up the game.
Yeah, this game is very much like designed like a large playground. Like you're not really meant to casually, you know, just do the events and get to the end of the game. Like you're very much meant to just like drive around the map, just mess around with stunt jumps, like try to find collectibles and all that. So the speedrun, even though there's like not a lot of like particular like skips or anything as you would see like in other runs or so, you just save an obscene amount of time by just you know, just doing events rather than messing around.
Even if messing around in this game is pretty fun.
Yeah.
You'll notice as well that
さあ、タイマースタートから1時間が経過しました。
really use about half the map in like the more downtowny district. The rest of the map is there from the start of the game. It's just that there's just no need to go for it because events tend to be a bit more spread out due to the fact that the events are placed at a junction. Funnily enough, in a downtown area, you're gonna have.
本当は西側に排飛行場とか採石場があるんですけど、西側に行かない。なるほど、本当にマップとしては西側の方は結構山がちのステージもいろいろあるんだな。
Especially during the early licenses, like basically what we do now, you pretty much stay entirely within the city as you progress through the game, like going into Burnout license. But even there, not a whole lot. You go a little bit into the mountains simply just because you run out of good events to use in the city at some point. But yeah, all the way like throughout A license, we pretty much stay in just entirely within the city. So because it's just much more efficient.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the speedrun, I guess. It's just, as he said, there's just not really any point in going to the nice looking area though, but yeah, it's just not worth it for the speedruns. It's easier just to stay in the more condensed downtown district. Everything's closer, everything's easier to get to. Especially as well because I believe we've mentioned that, or if you haven't mentioned it, you've probably seen by now, but races will finish.
今クリアしたら、今クリアしたなんですか、イベントの数がパッと分かればいいんですけれどね。A ライセンス取得までなので、50個のイベントをクリアする必要があるようです。で、左側の方、nimputsさんが、スピードラン .com で持っている記録が1時間18分ということなので、まあ1時間20分ぐらいになるのかなと思います。
It looks like I'm quite far ahead of Trigger right now, but I do want to remind everyone that Trigger is one event ahead of me because I forgot one. So it'll even out by the end.
Would that be a moment for a quick donation? Because I think it's on point. Demo sends us $250 again.
Nice.
So thanks a lot for that. And
250ドル入ったみたいですね、今
how
ね。
far I expect Trigger to be behind at this point? Love you guys. The Tempesta sucks.
まあでも逆に言えばこういうレースゲーム、
Thank
特
you
に
so very much
なんだろう、
for
リスタートも早いですから、
again. And this also goes to
そこまでタイムとしてブレるわけではないですよ
which
ね
is。now at $660.
イベントクリア型だから、
2000. Thank you.
単品
And coming up,
一つ一つ
just after this run,
クリア
we'll have
する時間自体はそんなにブレないですし。
Mario Bros. U, which still has the Elevator Skip Showcase incentive open. Make sure to donate to that as we're still missing $1,005 until the goal. So thank you so very much for all of your wonderful donations and keep them coming.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you so much, Demo, for that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Also, DuckTales incentive. Nice choice. Good game. Quite different to Burnout, but you know.
どうやら次に披露されるニュースーパーマリオブラザーズ Wii U の
The full game
方です
speedrun
ね。
community
こ
for
ち
this
ら
game
の
is very small. There's not a lot of active runners for this. But this game had like a pretty much
あ、でも違うか。
long
これ
existing
とはま
kind
た
of
別だな。
online road rule community. So pretty much the individual levels of this game are mostly based on
250
going
ドル
down
入っ
a
たっ
road,
て今
and
言った
that
話
is
でした
what
け
the
ど。
game tracks as like a time trial.
That's the bits at the top, if anyone was curious.
Yeah, basically where it says like at the top of the screen where you see the timer tick down sometimes. Like those are the main ILs of this game, and this is where the most the tightest competition is at. So yeah, I can recommend checking out like the individual level leaderboards. This game has way too many ILs, so brace yourself when you go on speedrun.com and click on the IL tab. There's a lot there, a lot to scroll, but there's a lot going on there. Lots of extremely fast people. I can only recommend checking out some of like the fastest time trials. There's some crazy speed tech where you build up a lot of speed going down mountains, and you have like really long run on times, like for just like a short road that you then go down, but you like spend a lot of time like going up the mountain and then taking like the speed from down the entire mountain and carrying it with like drift techniques throughout the city, and then just all that just to set up like a 10-second long road IL is wild what the road rulers do in this game.
右側の
Same as about what?
マシ
Has to
ン
be at least 100, maybe 200 ILs.
ブーストが吹くのがなんか左側吹いてないんですけれど、これ大丈夫なんですかね。
There's every single road has an IL.
The online challenges as well.
Yeah, the online challenges, the party mode, then the burning routes where you upgrade
万が一現実世界だったら
bike events. This
こんな
game is
右側だけ吹いてたら
Bike's your favourite,
めちゃくちゃバランス悪そうですし、あ、テイクンダウン大丈夫か？
an extra game mode they added in
やられましたね。
in the ultimate box version of the game.
あ、リベンジテイクダウン。何？
2009, like a year after.
タイマン勝負もうちょっとちゃんとレースしろよ。
Yeah, but I think originally it was kind of like a DLC
あ、吹いた。
thing.
左側も吹いた。
I was young. I've not paid that much attention at the time. But yeah, the bikes. Actually, I do think they handle quite nicely. But the gameplay variety in the bike mode, I think, is a little lacking because it's literally just time trials across the city map. The driving, like the cornering and such, is quite satisfying. But yeah, the bike run is basically just like you drive back and forth time trials through the map, and there's not too much going on. So definitely prefer the standard cars here.
Can't even boost on a bike either.
No.
No.
It doesn't make any sense. Because, okay, yeah, I guess bikes in real life don't boost like that. But do cars in real life boost like this? Like, you
Yeah.
know. What you drive might do. But yeah, there's not much variety in bikes. There's a whole 2 different types of events, and it's the same thing. It's time trials at day and time trials at night. There's no stunt runs. I mean, road rage is, I think, quite good, but I suppose a road rage on a bike is just road rash.
No. Yeah. It's
That's
just
just a game. That's a different game entirely.
there. What I tried to do there, like after hitting the finish line, to angle the car towards the gas station, which fills up your boost. And if you do that, if you hit that while going through the event finish cutscene, you actually get like a boost, and it launches you really far when it respawns you after the cutscene, and you cut down a lot of travel time. But unfortunately, I smacked right into the wall of the gas station.
Yeah, talking about bikes and their bikiness, they were going to add quite a few interesting concepts to this game that unfortunately never came to fruition. One of them was planes, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how that would work. I don't like how
Yeah,
how this plane work. The plane's just gonna win. It could fly.
I mean, if everyone has planes, they all can fly and they're all gonna win.
Unless they were on the ground, planes on the ground maybe.
Yeah, that was like a concept I think they had in mind when they first like put ideas for this game together. It's never got really far as I know.
From what I remember, but yeah, there's footage of it. It's like this awful
yeah, okay.
video from like 2009, 240p quality video.
This in Crash TV.
Yeah, I believe it was Crash TV, yeah, which was like a kind of, so it's kind of like a podcast type thing, where
Yeah.
like small videos showing off stuff. I remember back in the day reading an article that they were going to include other things, like an idea that they had for the game was that instead of Paradise City being a big, just a big landmass, they had ideas of it was just going to be smaller islands that you could get.
オンラインとかだと、どれくらい一方的にテイクダウンされてるかが明示化されるので、リベンジに躍起になってくるプレイヤーがいました。なるほど。
Like slightly further past the concept phase was the moon. Like I don't think they got that far into it, but yeah, Burnout on the moon would be quite good. Although trying to do a road rage would be slightly annoying because you try and hit someone and then go about flying off really far. Also, there'd be nothing you could hit. There's no, as far as I'm aware, there's no cities on the moon.
As far as you are.
Yeah, I would like to put out there I've not actually been to the moon. If anyone has been to the moon and can confirm that there's Burnout cars up there, then yeah, feel free to get in touch. Gonna go for the takedown. Ah,
Unfortunately, yes, that was not planned.
Couldn't-
Actually, but
couldn't resist, eh?
since we're finishing the run after this license, not actually going to lose that much time. If you do a longer run, it's quite annoying because you get like an extra like 10-15 second cutscene in the junkyard next time you switch cars. So you want to avoid just taking down cars at random.
As
But
fun
in
as it
this
may be.
situation, it was not that bad.
It's fun, but it's not worth it in the speed run. Like if you do it casually, you take down a lot of cars, and then you go to the junkyard after a while. It can take a while, as we saw earlier. It does like showing you the dropping from the sky thing.
Also, speaking of with what we mentioned now, the bikes. Speaking of extra content in this
さあ、
game,
ここで
there's also
左とも右ともどちらとも同じミッションに入っていきますか？
Yeah, it's basically like a little extra island.
あれですかね、チャートの分岐とかがあったのかな？
They're more like,
ここで合流した感じでしょうか？
so they're more on a fixed
Taken down、大丈夫か？
simply because the
このワンミスはもしかしたら命取りかもしれません
like
よ。
from one side of the island to the other, because that would be done in 10 seconds. But on those, you actually like drive around the island and like laps and such a couple times.
Taken down、2回目。
Yeah, as I said, the island is the big surf island is pretty tight with everything, and it's a lot more vertical based. So there's a lot of like really cool big jumps over there. I can recommend checking that out.
さあ、
Also,
ここの
I believe there was a
クエストイベン
that
ト
was
の
a run at
クリアの
by
タイミングが
also the
ちょっと注目ですね。
full big surf
一応左が
run can definitely recommend checking
先に
out.
クリア。
Yeah, that other category. So shout out to Sawtooth.
Yeah,
And Burn and Rubber as well. Also really good big surf island runner.
yeah, you'll see when we start an event and it zooms out the map, you'll probably be able to see the island on the
Yeah.
right-hand side.
20秒ぐらいの差かな？
And I will say the checkpoint races. It's kind of a shame we didn't add them into the base game because you can play them online and they're quite fun. We just decided, nah, you know, we're not going to bother adding them. I don't know if it's just something they planned, never added into the main game, but yeah, they're quite fun for like considering.
さあ、最後までどうなっていくでしょうか。
You say it's rather squiggly looking. There's not much of the straight roads really.
Race northeast to the Coast Guard HQ.
There you go. He's going through the park again. As I'm sure you probably noticed, go through the park quite a lot. Purely because if the game wants you to start from this bit of the map and you're trying to go to this side of the map, you need something to go from there, and that's what the park gives. Basically, just lets you do that because it's just a diagonal bit. It's it's got both ways. You can even go up and down. So it's quite handy just for if there's no roads nearby, but maybe you can use that to sort yourself out. Oh, okay. I was gonna mention the AI doesn't seem to be doing much, but I just drove into it something.
I guess also like a little bit about the history of the game. So when I picked this up as a speed game first, like we had I think at that point the only runner who's ever like worked on like optimizing the standard like main game. So like not Big Surf Island, not bikes. The only runner at that point was a runner by Missing You, who had already done the route, and he had a time of 2:41. So when I and then Trigger also learned the game, we used Missing You's route. As we got better, we like did
さあ、あと5分ほどでしょうか。最後まで目が離せない。
changes, mainly rerouting the late game a lot. And
この勝負どっちが勝利
I
するの
first
か。
beat Missing You with like a time of 2:39, I think, and then Trigger beat me and pushed it down by like another 4 minutes. And then we left the game for a while, and we thought everything would be all right. And then a demo came along and ruined everything for us. And he introduced like a lot of like new ideas to the routing, which
やっぱり少しだけお互いにクエスト、イベントの順番が違いそうですね。
add in a lot of new stuff. A lot of what we do right now is still kind of based on like the old route, but with a lot of of demos, new ideas like mixed in, and a couple of extra stuff as well. So yeah, that was I think was that last year, 2021 something. So yes, that's roughly the history of single segment runs for this game. Also, right now I'm doing my extra event that I'm doing to compensate for doing my own route wrong. So it's
Hey, nice. Yeah, for a game as simple as it may look.
タイマーストップのタイミングは
I think that's outside my skill set, rerouting this damn thing, but
I mean, if you don't know if you've never tried it.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, like there's tends to be quite a lot of rerouting. Just sometimes you might think of a route in a race or
When all goals have been
new
satisfied.
repeats from a stunt run,
あ、わかんねえ
something I
な
might。have considered before. Oh yeah, it's looking pretty close, getting towards the end.
Yeah. But yeah,
目
like
標が
with,
すべて
you know,
達
the
成
way
され
how
た
to,
タイ
like,
ミング。
spontaneous rerouting here
いう
to
感じかな。
cover for my mistakes, and also
見て
like
ればわかるか。
the route has changed in the past. The important thing to keep in mind for this game is that there is like infinite possibilities for rerouting this, and we will likely never have like an absolute perfect route. So anyone who
さあ、14万点。
comes in and thinks they are good at puzzling stuff together, always happy to
ミッション、同じミッションですよ。
can bring something to the table that completely, freshes
こ
up
こで万一
completely new way of using
ミ
it.
スで
There's like infinite
テイクダウンとかレックしてしまうと
we've changed a lot around in the past. There were literally like times where we changed the route like every day, and we constantly had to clear out our splits and then always run against blank splits because we would constantly change our route. It's
慎重かつ大胆なハンドルさばきが見たいですが、どうでしょうか。無事、左側、一定のポイントに達しました。
possibilities for improvements here. I'm sure that people smarter than me might think of at some point.
右側も達した。
But yeah, I'm actually coming up to the final race here for me. I hope if I didn't miss something again, I think I should be good.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Would be funny if you missed something though. That'd be...
No, it would not. Would not like that, in fact.
Oh, what a
Okay,
twist that would
no,
be.
we're good. We're good. One event left. Okay. So yeah, we have one final race here to do. So this is actually
It's got really close at the end.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually an event I picked for the end of this route because this is an event. If we do the full Burnout license, we would restart on that one and then redo it again as the.
6人レース。
So this is a very short event, but it's kind of an awkward spot to get to. And basically that would, you know, in the upcoming license would skip driving to it and still having the benefit of short race.
なんだかあさっての方向に向かって走り出しましたけれども、抜け道でしょうか。あ、なんか一気に抜いてってる扱いになってる。
In and awkward to get to
あ、
the
一気に抜いた。
position you
おー、面白い。
on the short event, but don't have to drive to it. But since we're ending now, it's just kind of here for, you know.
海沿いの裏道のジャンプ、あれ、なかなかね、
And yeah,
大変そうですよね。
the end here.
うまいこと超えたなーって思いました。
Hey, who gets the honor of hitting the big
I'm
button?
so excited to hit this button. I've always wanted to do this.
It's all he's been talking about since he got here.
Let's go.
GG.
Oh, it's still going, I think.
さあ、フィニッシュ、左側1時間19分3秒。
Oh, okay.
Wow, that was still under 120. How did that
Hey.
work?
そして右側も11秒遅れで
That
無
is
事
the-
クリアとなりました。
With everything that went wrong, we still got under 120.
お
That
二
is
人とも無事クリアです。
We're gonna like
GG。
get close to like an estimate or something with how much like on the fly rerouting we had to do.
Yeah.
But all things
A
considered,
ライセンスを取得しての
Yeah, I
クリアと
hope
なり
everyone
まし
enjoyed
た。
watching. This is my first time doing commentary on ESA.
いや、面白かったですね。最後まで接戦を繰り広げてくれたお二人に
yeah, thank you for being
本当
here.
を称えたいと思い
Yeah,
ま
always
す。
always good to have like another person in the mix doing you know adding more commentary because we can't think of everything by ourselves. So yeah, very happy you were here and help us. Thank you, Trigger, for racing me.
Thank you.
And thank you very much, ESA, for allowing us to do this run here. Anything else you want to say for a closer, either of you?
I think you've said it all.
Yeah, thanks to these two for putting up with me for about an hour and 19, and thanks to everyone watching.
Thank you very much, guys, for this wonderful run, and we will see you soon right after this intermission. Don't go away. We'll be there for New Super Mario Bros. U.
ということで、ここまでのお時間は Burnout Paradise カテゴリーが A License Paradise Cars Only ということで、nimputs さん、Trigger さんの並走でございました。さあ、視界の方、シフトが切り替わるタイミングとなっておりますので、ここまでお付き合いいただきありがとうございました。レイアイでございました。ESA サマー2023はまだまだ続きます。今週末まで続いています。くれぐれもね、皆さん、無理はなくご視聴いただければと思います。チャンネルはそのままジャパニーズリストリームでお楽しみください。